Time heals all wounds. And I have to admit, that particular sentiment never sat well with me. Ideally, I suppose that it made perfect sense in the grand scheme of things. But even though the wounds heal, the bearer of those wounds never forgets how they got there. After my sister died, correction, after my sister was murdered, I kept hearing my grandmother's voice in my head assuring me that time was going to heal my wounds. I tried to listen to her, but eventually the darkness that was continually growing in my heart drowned her voice out, for good. It was at that point that I decided to do what I needed to do to help my own wounds mend. I believe that justice is in the eye of the beholder. Our justice system is set up to protect the rich and condemn the poor. It's just unfortunate for the man that killed my sister that the United States justice system was overturned by me. I planned that man's death down to the last second, executed my plan flawlessly, and then turned myself in. And if I had to, I would do it all over again. But I am a woman of conviction, and I accept the consequences of my actions. But make no mistake about it, Miss Jackson, I have no regrets about what I did.
What was your sister like?
Carmen was the most beautiful, generous, kind person I ever knew. Can't think of a time where she wasn't thinking of someone else. She was 2 years younger than me. We were inseparable. I was very protective of her. We did almost everything together when I wasn't training. She was in her first year of college, and I was in my third. While I was just going through the motions with no real career plans, she had her mind set on being a pediatrician. Carmen was nothing if not responsible. So when my mother found her bed empty and untouched the morning after she had gone out to a birthday party with her friends, it was an immediate cause for alarm.
She didn't come home last night.
What do you mean she didn't come home last night?
She didn't come home last night. Did she call you?
No, Mommy.
Did she call you?
Mommy,
No,
have a seat,
no.
okay?
Why wouldn't she call?
I heard myself saying the words, but even as they were coming out of my mouth, I didn't believe in myself.
I need to know where she is.
I knew my sister like the back of my hand, and she would never stay out all night without calling her parents to let them know.
Call Jasmine. Call Jasmine.
I had a nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach that something wasn't right. I didn't want my mother to worry, so I continued to falsely reassure her that everything was fine. Slowly but surely, the seconds turned to minutes, and the minutes turned into hours, and still no word from Carmen.
Yeah, hello, Jasmine. Jasmine, have you seen Carmen?
I called all of Carmen's friends, but none of them had heard from her since the night of the
slow down.
party.
What do you mean you have her stuff, but you don't know where she is? What are you talking about? Was it anybody think to walk her to her car?
Jasmine said that she wasn't really feeling the vibe of the club, so she decided to leave the party early to go home and get some rest. They said their goodbyes, and that was it.
I'm going to go call the police.
Took 3 weeks before my sister's mutilated body was found, handcuffed to a bug-infested bed on an abandoned building in Detroit. A production crew scouting for movie locations came across the building and a foul odor coming from the basement. The police were called. When we got the call, we agreed that it was best that my mom stayed behind, since she had to be sedated at regular intervals. So my dad and I went. I Have you ever had to identify a body, Miss Jackson? Nothing can prepare you for that moment. Nothing could prepare us for what had been done to my sister. As the sheet was pulled back to reveal what was once the most important person in my life, my dad passed out. And all I could do was stare.
Miss Langston, we can make this brief. We don't have to prolong this. Miss Langston, I'm sorry, but we are sure that this is your sister.
No.
We just need someone to positively ID the body so that the first
As I sat there helplessly watching my daddy cry, my sorrow slowly turned into anger. It took 2 weeks while primary suspect was arrested. Ross Styler was the name of the man that killed my sister. He was the brother of a high-profile drug dealer, Nico Styler. Thought he was untouchable. He was the kind of guy that women fell for with his handsome good looks and nice clothes, fancy jewelry. Stood out to me the most, aside from the fact that he was white, was that he had the coldest eyes I had ever seen. Pure evil. Even when he was arrested, he showed no sign of nervousness or remorse.
How long did it take for the case to go to trial?
8 long months. Nico Styler, Ross Styler's brother, hired the best attorney he could find. And that woman wasted no time painting my sister out to be a drunken slut who threw herself at Ross Styler in a frenzied state of passion and then got herself kidnapped by another man at the club that night.
Sending an innocent man away would be inhumane. Please take this into consideration.
Do you want to know what that narcissistic demon did after his lawyer was done pissing on my sister's character, Miss Jackson?
What did he do?
He must have felt the heat of my glare on his neck. Because in the middle of open court, he turned around, looked me dead in my eye, smiled at me.
Daddy, did you just see that?
What?
He just smiled at me.
Miss Langston, another outburst like that and I will have you removed from this courtroom.
Dawn, please.
Prosecution supplied mountains of compelling evidence that indicated without the shadow of a doubt Ross Styler was the man that killed my sister. He was witnessed by a man talking to her in the parking lot that night. His skin was found under her fingernails. Not only that, it was brought up that he had 2 prior rape charges. Both of the victims dropped the charges. So the only thing left to plant a seed of doubt in the jurors' minds was 4 witnesses who boldly testified that Ross Styler was with them that night.
The evidence, the cold hard evidence.
On the day of closing arguments,
everything that he did, hard
prosecution left it all on the floor.
Went as far as to bite her torso. This
She
man went
painted a picture of how
rape
Ross Styler followed my sister. Somehow got her in the car and then drove her to the abandoned building where her body was found. She showed the jury pictures of Carmen's mutilated corpse and then recounted in vivid detail every single horror she had to endure up until the final moment that he bashed her head in with a bat. To me, this was an open and closed case. I was confident that the jury would make the right decision and justice would be served.
Will the defendant rise? In the matter of the state of Michigan versus Ross Styler, we, the jury, find the defendant, Ross Styler, not guilty. You're in the first degree. In the case of Carmen Langston. Order in this court. Order in this court.
Did you see the pictures of what he did to my sister, Miss Jackson? Yes. So I guess you can understand our horror. And the verdict came back. Not guilty. Needless to say, we were devastated. Not guilty. After everything had been laid out and proven, he was gonna walk out of that courtroom a free man. Why? Because he was white. And he had money.
Transcripts showed that you threatened to kill him.
I did. And I meant it. They had to carry me out of that courtroom kicking and screaming. That wasn't until I noticed that it was Detective Jones that was restraining me. And I looked around and I saw my mom sobbing and my dad trying to console her.
Look at me. What you did to your hands? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on.
Him going to prison was the last thread that she had to hold on to. And it had been taken away from all of us that day. And it was that exact moment that I knew that I was going to kill Ross Styler. But I had to quit school so I could work more to fund my operation. And devote more time to training. I trained relentlessly. I pushed myself to the limit. And just when I thought I didn't have anything else to give, I thought about the way he looked at me.
This what we doing?
And then I trained harder. I told my parents I quit school and they weren't happy about that, or me moving out. But they knew they wouldn't be able to make me change my mind. So I worked, trained, and planned. And before I knew it, a full year had passed. In my search for a hideout, I finally found an abandoned building that would suit my purposes. And it wasn't too far from where I was living. But it wasn't too close either. Once I found my location, started setting up everything that I would need to execute. Once the hideout had been secured, it was time to shift focus to Styler. I never bothered to decorate my house because after what I was planning to do, I was sure that I wouldn't be coming back. That realization was enough to make me sit down and evaluate the magnitude of what I was planning. I was going to kill a man in cold blood. What would I do after that? I knew I would have to disappear. But what would that do to my parents? It would almost be like they were losing another child. Oddly enough, none of the realistic answers to any of those questions was enough to make me stop. Now it was time to focus on Styler. I started stalking him so I could clock his every move and learn his habits. Every morning before work, I was up at 5 a.m. sharp so that I could trail him until it was time to go to work at 9. After work, I would pick right back up where I left off until it was time to train. Before long, it got to the point where I could get so close to him that he couldn't fart without me smelling it. He was so careless and cocky in his actions that he never even noticed I was there. I even went as far as to leave a picture of Carmen on the windshield of his car one night just to see what his reaction would be. It was gratifying to see that he was visibly shaken when he saw it. He looked around angrily, trying to see if he could catch a glimpse of who would have had the nerve to do that to him. Then, to my surprise, he did something totally unexpected.
Do you think you scare me? Do you think I don't know that you've been following me? Watching me? I know you've been following me.
3 years, 2 weeks, and 5 days after the death of my sister, I woke up on the day that was to be the first day of the rest of my life. As I lay there, all the events of the past 3 years replayed themselves in my head for the millionth time. I was preparing to take the life of another human being. Not only was I going to take his life, but I was going to torture him every step of the way. I wanted him to experience all the pain and suffering he had inflicted upon my sister. And I wanted to hear him beg for mercy. I wiped my tears away and hardened my heart. There wouldn't be any more room for emotion in my life from this point on. I had trained myself to think and act like a machine. And now the moment I've been planning for was finally here. And for me, there was no turning back. I left the house. And I went to Ross Styler's house as usual. Except this time I wouldn't be cutting out early at 8:30 to go to work. So like clockwork, 7 a.m., he came out, met with his brother for their daily breakfast meeting. And then from there, he went to the club. And it was at that point that I would be making my appearance.
Hey, baby. Know what you're doing under there?
Actually, I don't. My car stalled out and I have to get to work. Can you take a look at it for me?
Sure, baby.
Thanks.
I got you. But, what's gonna be in it for me?
How about I surprise you?
I like that. All right, let's see. I mean, all your fluids look okay, so probably just need a jump. You got any jumper cables?
Yeah, I do. They're in the trunk.
All right. Yeah, I don't...
Oh, good. You're awake. Now we can start our game. Oh, what's wrong? You don't recognize me?
No. But whoever you are, you're already dead.
I am so disappointed that you don't recognize me. Then again, last time we saw each other, I did look a little different, huh? What about now?
You're that girl from the courtroom.
Yeah. Now, can you guess why you're here?
Look, I don't know what this...
You know what? You don't even have to guess. Because I'm going to tell you. But you better listen to me closely because I'm only going to say this once. Do you remember a girl named Carmen Langston? Sure you do. Well, that was my little sister. But I digress. I'm supposed to be telling you why you're here. You, Ross Styler, are here because you had the misfortune of killing the wrong girl. And if the justice system had done what it was supposed to do, you would be in prison. But they didn't. So now we're here.
Look, you're...
If you interrupt me one more time, I will stab this through your eye. Do you hear me? Make no mistake about it, Mr. Styler, this is not a game. So pissing me off will only make me more creative in the ways that I decide to torture you. As I was saying, you killed my sister. So now you're gonna endure everything that she had to up until the last moment that you bashed her head in with a baseball bat. I have 5 long days of hell planned for you. Love begins today. Take a look around.
Okay, look. Please, I'll give you whatever you want. You obviously already know I have money. Whatever is out, I'll make it right, please!
You know what? I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but you gotta admit, it's kind of funny.
Do you really think that you can buy your way out of punishment? Do you know how long I have waited for this day to come? And if I wasn't so determined to make you suffer, I would end your life right now. But why would I deny myself the pleasure of watching you beg? See ya. Just then, you asked. But I promise you that when I'm done with you, you will beg. Now, I have to say goodbye. But I suggest you try and get some rest, because it will be the last peaceful night you will ever have. How did you sleep last night? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear you!
I swear you're gonna die for this!
Oh, rest assured it won't be before you do. Brought you a gift. I know, it's just a regular old branch from a regular old tree, right? Wrong. This is a special branch. But before we get into what's gonna happen, I wanna ask you some questions.
I'm not telling you anything!
How many women have you raped, Styler? How many women have you taken advantage of and killed because you thought you could get away with it? How many women have you raped, Styler? Don't make me ask you again.
I don't know! I don't remember!
You don't know. How many people have you killed?
10.
How many of them were women?
3.
What about my sister?
What about my sister?
Your sister, I didn't know your sister. I just saw her that night at the club.
And you just decided to rape her? Yes. You decided to rape her before you did anything else, didn't you?
Didn't you?
Yes! Yes!
Yes. Yes, you did.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
Do you know what it feels like to be violated, Styler? Do you know what it feels like to have your insides torn apart by a perverted maniac? Well, that's what you did to Carmen. And even if she would have lived, she wouldn't have been able to have children. And you did that to her.
Please, I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Please.
You're not sorry yet. But you will be.
No! No, please! Please! Dad!
So today, we're gonna have a discussion. And I'm sure that you know by now that any lack of participation on your part will result in bad things happening to you, right? Good. So together, you and I are gonna make a list of all the victims that you killed. Then, once that list is complete, we're gonna write letters to their families. You're gonna do this before you die, so those families can have closure. Is that clear? Great. Sorry. Time is getting away from us. Get started. Victim number 1.
David Atkins. Tracy Martin.
From there, he began to run down the list of names of people he'd killed. 7 men
Crystal
and 3 women.
Jones.
I wanted to know about the women.
John.
The first woman, Tracy Martinez, was a girlfriend he thought was cheating on him. The second woman,
Ellie Smith.
that got caught in the crossfire of a hit for 2 of the men. And he didn't know her name. And then he stopped. And the last one.
You know who the last one was.
I want to hear you say it.
Her name was Carmen.
Say her whole name.
Carmen Langston.
And why did you kill her?
I didn't have a reason to. I saw her one night at the club, and I wanted her. I tried to talk to her, and she brushed me off. But I still wanted her. Then, I started to wonder what it would be like to kill her, just because I could. So I did. Yeah, I killed all those people without a second thought. But do you really think what you're doing to me is gonna bring your sister back? 'Cause it's not. You really think that you can do all this and just go on with your life? You don't have the makeup for what it takes to be a killer. That's the difference between us. Me, I'm a predator. People like you and your sister, you're prey.
Styler. Your day of redemption has come. First, the letters. Let's get started, shall we?
So, what happened after that?
We did 9 letters in order of occurrence. I told him that I wanted him to admit to all of the victims' families what he had done to their loved one and ask for their forgiveness. I wrote everything down verbatim. But when it got to Carmen, there would be no letter. Now, I want you to tell me about the night that you kidnapped Carmen. Don't worry. The more you talk, the more I listen. The less you have to worry about me hurting you. I want to hear everything. From the moment that you met her at the club, up until the moment that you took her life.
I remember I saw her at the club that night, and she was so beautiful. She had a certain kind of innocence about her that really excited me. I remember just watching her, and I wanted her so bad that I actually approached her myself, and instead of sending one of my guys to send her to me, I started off with some small talk, and I asked her if I could buy her a drink. She said no. Then I asked her if she wanted to dance, and she said no again. It pissed me off, but I didn't want to lose it, so I went back to my section and I sat down. I couldn't keep my eyes off of her. Then after watching her with her friends for a while, I noticed her head to the door around 11 o'clock. So I followed her outside. I tried to talk to her again, but she just kept brushing me off. And that's when I lost it. Before I knew it,
You what?
I punched her in the face, and I knocked her out. I looked around the parking lot to make sure that nobody had seen. I didn't know what to do, so I dragged her to my car and I put her in the back seat. I got in the car and I really started to panic because I didn't mean to hit her. I just wanted to talk to her. So I just started to drive around. Then after about 45 minutes, I came across this abandoned building. One of those ones that crackheads used to shoot up in. I was just gonna drop her off there, but then she started waking up. So I dragged her out of the car and into the building. I dragged her all the way down to the basement in case she started screaming or something. By the time I got her down there, she'd started trying to fight me. So I held her down on the bed so she couldn't hit me anymore. And as I held her there, I couldn't resist.
You couldn't resist. What?
You know what? Don't make me do this. If you're gonna kill me, just do it.
I'm gonna kill you. You don't have to worry about that. But I want you to tell me everything that you did to my sister before you die. I want to hear it out of your mouth.
I raped her, okay? She wouldn't give it to me, so I took it.
Then he proceeded to tell me each and every horrific thing that he did to my sister after he raped her. She fought and bit him when he tried to kiss her, so he pulled out plugs of her hair and bit out chunks of her flesh. She gave him the finger when he tried to reason with her. So he cut 2 of them off for the grand finale. He bashed her head in with a baseball bat.
I can't imagine what must have gone through your mind while you sat there listening to him. What happened after that?
I used a blowtorch to burn out patches of his hair since he didn't have hair long enough to pull. And I used a scalpel to carve out chunks of his flesh. I wasn't putting my mouth on him. And I used vice grips to cut off 2 of his fingers. When Friday finally came, I found myself in an inner turmoil. My mind, body, and soul were in total agreement that Styler had to die. But that small, still voice inside still urged me to walk away. And I just couldn't do it. Thought about Chris and wondered if I was going to be able to look him in the eye again. It was of no use thinking about that right then, so I pushed it out of my mind. I had to rekindle the rage I needed to feel toward this man in order to do what I was about to do.
Wake up.
Are you ready to die? What? Do you have something to say?
Please. Please, I'm just sorry. Please don't kill me. I don't want to die. I don't know why you did it. I'm sick. I deserve everything that you did to me. I know that now. Just please don't kill me. Just please forgive me. I'm begging you.
Forgive you.
Forgive you? How dare you ask me for forgiveness? Do you have any idea what you've done to my family? Do you have any idea how I've been dealing with the loss of my sister? I haven't had a life since she's been gone. And do you want to know why? Because I have been preparing training, saving money, and waiting for the day that I can make you pay for what you did. My sister was everything to me. You took the best part of me when she died. See, I'm not good, Styler. I love violence. And that is a feeling that I have been trying to harness my entire life. But you have unleashed the monster in me. And I hate you for that too. See, most people wouldn't have the stomach to do what I've done to you. What you did to my sister! But it doesn't bother me. Because the Bible says, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. And the way I see it, when I'm done with you, we'll be just about even.
After I pulled myself together, I went back inside to clean up and erase any evidence I had been there. And that was the end of it. I knew his body would be found eventually. I just hoped that any evidence that I had overlooked would be long gone by then. Didn't really matter, though. I had accomplished what I set out to do. I killed a white man. And we both know that even in Detroit, they are not gonna let that ride. Your justice system is not built for people who look like me. That's why I did what I had to do.
Off the record, I honestly don't think it would be a bad idea to subject murderers to the same types of horror they put their victims through. If you shoot someone and you're convicted, then you should be shot. So on and so forth.
We're not doing these stories to justify the crimes that these women commit. We're doing these stories to give the public insight as to what drives these women to commit the crimes that they commit. Now, I know that you think her case seems pretty extreme. But if you judge her before you hear her story, aren't you just doing the same thing that you condemned the public for doing before you started this project?